Today, we're talking about a true master of the golf course, Bernhard Langer. His is a legacy built not on brute force, but on something else entirely: absolute, near-perfect precision. I mean, it's a question you could ask about any great athlete, right? But with Bernhard Langer, it's different. It's just so compelling. His career wasn't just long. It's a masterclass in staying excellent year after year. So, what was his secret? How did he do it? To really get what Langer's all about, you have to see him for what he is: a total golfing anomaly. This is a guy who has competed and won against multiple generations of players, constantly adapting his game through decades of change. His story starts back in Anhausen, West Germany. And right from the get-go, the building blocks for his success were there: a really meticulous technique, an unshakable mental game, and a kind of consistency that would basically become his trademark. Now, you have to remember, before Langer came along, the pro golf world was pretty much dominated by Americans. But he was about to change all of that. He really became a pioneer for an entire continent. His journey to the top was just this steady, methodical climb. He turned pro back in 1972 and spent more than a decade just grinding, honing his craft. And then, 1985, he breaks through in a huge way, winning his first Masters. And that win, it wasn't just for him. It was a massive moment for European golf. So back to that question, what was his secret? Well, it was never about hitting the ball the farthest. Nope. For Langer, it was about hitting it the smartest. And that philosophy defined his entire approach to the game. And this is where it gets really interesting. You've got this stark contrast. So many of his rivals were all about raw power, just bombing the ball down the fairway. Langer, he was playing a completely different game. It was more like chess, all built on this meticulous precision, control, and just outthinking the golf course. And that right there explains where he got his famous nickname. His competitors, the press, they all started calling him the Iceman. Why? Because when the pressure was at its absolute highest, he was just unflappable. His demeanor was totally calm. His focus was absolute. He simply didn't crack. And, well, the results really speak for themselves, don't they? This whole precision-first approach led him to 2 Masters victories, one in '85 and another in '93. Winning at Augusta, probably one of the most strategic courses out there, was the ultimate proof that his philosophy worked. Okay, but this is where the story goes from just great to absolutely legendary. For almost any other athlete, turning 50 means you're winding down, maybe retiring. For Bernhard Langer, it meant starting a whole new chapter of complete dominance. And let's be clear here, this kind of longevity is, well, it's almost unheard of in any professional sport. Langer didn't just show up on the senior tour to play a few rounds for fun. He arrived to take it over. I mean, the sheer numbers are just staggering. Worldwide, he's racked up over 90 professional wins. Back on the European tour, where he first made his mark, he holds the record with 41 titles. 41! And then, after turning 50 in this incredible second act on the PGA Tour Champions, he's added over 40 more wins. That's one of the most dominant runs in the history of any sport, period. So, when you step back and look at the whole picture, what's Langer's real legacy? It's so much more than just the trophies on his shelf. It's really about how he fundamentally changed the game. It really boils down to these key things. He was the pioneer who kicked the door open for European golfers. He was the master of precision who proved that brains could beat brawn. And, of course, he's the ultimate icon of longevity, completely rewriting the rules on how long an athlete's career can be. This quote just sums it up perfectly, doesn't it? His impact was all about paving the way for others, showing there was a different path to victory through precision and patience. And he's still inspiring people to this day. And that really leaves us with a final thought to chew on. Langer's whole career makes you ask, in a world that's obsessed with what's new and what's next, the flash in the pan, maybe the truest measure of greatness isn't a flash of brilliance, but a whole lifetime of excellence.